Facebook has over 3 billion users worldwide. The second most popular social network is YouTube with over 2.5 billion users around the world, and that is followed by Instagram with just over 2 billion users. There's no doubt that Facebook is the most popular social media platform, not only in the United States but also worldwide. Today, we will discuss how you can connect the Facebook API to your mobile project in a matter of minutes. There would be no coding required. There would be no need to learn how to use APIs. We have done everything for you, and no lengthy configuration, so you don't have to spend hours trying to figure out with trial and error whether or not you can connect the Facebook API correctly and do what you needed to do, because we have done that for you and we will teach you how to take advantage of that. But I don't want to bore you with the details. Let's jump right in and let's get started. So for this, my assumption is that you have already created a developer's account. If you haven't done so, I will ask you, please stop this video for a moment. Go to developers.facebook.com and create an account. It's free and it's relatively easy. You just use your regular Facebook account in order to create your developer's account. But once you have that created, come back to this video and you can follow along with me. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go under My Apps, right here on the top right corner, and that will bring you to the Apps dashboard. In this app dashboard, you will be able to create your app that will give you all the credentials that you need to be able to connect your Facebook developer account, the app that you're going to create that will encompass everything within Facebook, into your mobile application. And that way you can send data between mobile and your Facebook app. So the next step here is going to be creating a Facebook app that you will be able to connect your account. So we're going to go here to the green button at the top right corner of your dashboard, and we're going to click Create App. This will prompt us to select which business portfolio we want to use. We don't want to connect our business portfolio. In my case, you might want to connect yours. I don't know, that's a personal decision. But since we're just doing a demo, we're not going to connect anything. We're going to click Next. Now that we're here, we're going to be using the Other option down here, and that will allow us to connect to Facebook Pages API later on. So here, now that we have selected Other, we're going to click Next. And we're going to name our app. In this case, we are going to select an app type. For us, it's going to be business because we want to connect to business pages, which is the API that we're going to be using. And now we're going to add an app name, 2224 demo. And this you can name it however you want. I just added today's date and added the word demo at the end. And we're going to click Create. It will ask you to enter password. You enter your password and you move forward. That will bring you to the dashboard for the app. There are a few things that we need to configure here. The very first thing that we're going to configure is going to be the Facebook login for business. So you're going to scroll down towards the end and you're going to click Set. We're going to let it load. But once we have it set up, we're going to go to our mobile application. And I have set up this demo application just to make sure that we're able to run this. We're going to copy the link and we're going to add it to the redirect URI. And down here, we're going to add it to the valid redirect URI. We don't want we're going to delete this at the end. We're going to save the changes. Add it again. Going to check just to make sure that we add it correctly and it's being added. There's nothing else that you will need to do here, at least for now. But we are going to go, configurations, on the dashboard. And we're going to make sure that it's being added. Yep, it's under my products. That's all we need to do for now. Now we're going to go to our mobile application and do some other configurations. Now, our next step, we want to authenticate our user's account through our platform. So we want to make sure that whenever they click this button, in this case, they are taken back to their account for them to authenticate and allow you to get access to their data through your application. So we're going to do this relatively easily. We're going to double click here. We're going to add a workflow. This workflow's action will be opening an external website. And for the destination, we have here already predetermined the link that we're going to use. So I'm going to bring you here and add it. For the client ID, we're going to go back to our dashboard, and our client ID will be this app ID up here at the top, which can also be, you can also get it from the app settings basic. We're going to replace this, and I will leave you this link in the description. So it should be relatively easy. Now for the redirect URI, that's the URL that the app is going to bring back to your user to after they have authenticated your app. In this case, we want to bring them to the exact same page, so it's not going to be any change. But if you want a different page, again, it's up to you how you configure it. You just need to make sure that this redirect URI is the exact same one that was used for these settings. You cannot use a different one. You have to use whatever you add in here. We're going to go back and we are going to make sure that we have the configuration that we need. And we will hit a few topics. It's taking us to Facebook. It's asking me if I want to continue as my account. Continue. It's asking me which accounts, which Facebook pages I want to add. I add them all. We'll click continue and save. And it has been connected. Got it. And it's bringing me back to the same page. So it's working as intended. It's doing exactly what I wanted to do. So that's great. Now, a couple of points about the link. The only two things that you should be changing are the client ID, which is in all caps, and the redirect URI. Please do not change anything else. If you're using our plugin, that means that you are actually using some endpoints that will require the scopes that we have delineated here, all these scopes, and we're using the code in the response tag that is returned to be able to exchange it for an access token, which is what we're going to be discussing next. When you change the scopes, which means authorizations, that's what it means. When you change those, you might not have the access that you need in order to be able to use some of the endpoints that we have configured, and that will create problems for your application. So I will ask you that you please maintain at the bare minimum the scopes that we have added. If you need to add more, go for it. But at the bare minimum, please maintain the ones that we have added because you will need them. And one last thing that I wanted to cover, once we'll copy and paste this, but once the user is returned, it's returned here. And the state is Facebook, as we had delineated here. You can change the state to whatever you want. You can do that. That's completely fine. I would keep it as Facebook, but you can do whatever you want on that end. We're going to delete this. And this code right here, that is after the word code, that's the code that we will be exchanging in the next workflow for the access token. We will cover that here in a moment, but I just wanted to make you aware of where that code is coming from so you're not confused when we start talking about that. So I will do a run through. I just want to show you before I start deleting some of the workflows that I have already created. I will give you a run through so you can see exactly what we're able to accomplish. So we're going to re-authenticate the application and we're going to reconnect it. And it's going to bring us back to our page. Now on the back end, the workflows were running, and now we're able to see the pages that we authorize to bring in. In this case, we authorize 3. Now we can add pages, and the page has been added. Excuse me. And we're able to now visit the page and see some data about it. As you can see, there haven't been any posts since 2021. But that's basically what we're going to be able to accomplish. Now we're going to go to the backend workflows. If you don't have the backend workflows activated, you want to go under, I want to say it's general. Actually, under API, we want to enable workflows API and backend workflows. So you want to check this one and enable data API, which we might use here in a few minutes. But once that is done, you can go here to the top and you will get this option that reads backend workflow. First one we're going to create is the Facebook Connect. It's going to be a new API workflow. We're not going to delete it, so we can use it as a reference. Connect new. And we're going to add 2 parameters that we will need to use. The first one is the code, which is the code that we're going to get from here. This is, as you recall, this is the code that we get back from Facebook. And they redirect here. Those 2 will be really important. And as you can see, that's the way that we had set it up before. Hey, we can run this with authentication, and this is not a public API workflow. So those are the only 2 parameters we need. So the first thing that we're going to do is from the plugin, we're going to exchange the code for access token. Before we continue, let's backtrack. In order to be able to do this, you will want to go under your plugin section. This is really important. Under the plugin sections, and you will want to search for the Facebook page graph API. The day we're submitting this video to YouTube is the day that we're submitting it to Bubble for review, because one of the requirements was that we had to have a demo video, which is what we're recording. As long as they approve it on time, they should be up and running in 5 to 7 business days. Which means that if I upload this video today, August 22nd, I expect this plugin to be uploaded by September 1st as the latest. Once it's uploaded, I will record a video letting all of that is being uploaded. So I will ask you that if you're interested in this plugin, please consider getting notifications from our page. There is a bell button that you can click and get notifications every time I publish a video. To be able to do that, you will need to subscribe. But that way you don't miss out on the opportunity, because if you think that you're going to remember to come back, probably not. You're going to forget. So do that. If you want to deactivate notifications, that's fine. But if this is something that you want, then you actually will want to take that extra step. With that being said, this is the plugin. Will cost $50. It takes about 12 to 13 hours between reading documentation, getting familiar with the API, and connecting the API. If you really think about it, the 24 endpoints that we're including, which are right here, these are all the endpoints that we have configured into the plugin. You're going to be saving time and money. You don't have to get it. You can go and configure every single endpoint by yourself. It's completely fine. If you want to save time and money, this is the way to do it. With that being said, once you have done that, now we're going to start using these endpoints to be able to do certain actions. The first one is we're going to exchange the code for an access token. So the code is going to be the one that was provided, and the redirect URI will be the one that we have provided here to the app, because we want to make sure that we're getting the right one. We're going to copy it. We're going to go back. We're going to paste it. The second thing is we want to change this access token, which is a short-term access token, expires in 60 minutes, for a long-term access token, which expires in 60 days. So we're going to go under actions, and we're going to, again, type exchange, and we're going to change the short token for long-lived token. And that was for threads. Facebook. Get long-lived user access token, that's how it's called. And in this case, we're going to change the results of step 1 body access token. And that's all you need to do in order to be able to accomplish those two specific things. Now I have created some debugs logs, so to help me, and we're going to get some data here in a moment, but those two are going to be the main steps in this workflow. Now for the third one, we're going to get the user ID and some other items, and we're going to get them from using the access token that we use on step 2, because remember, we already changed the one on step 1. We don't want that. And the access token. And now we're going to create a save the data into the database. So the access token parsing current date plus seconds to access token. No, step. We're going to revisit this in a moment. Let's see how we did it. We'll revisit that in a moment. Actually, there is none for this one. We will fix this before the plugin is released. But and just for you to know, I will add a link to the demo so you know how we created every single workflow and how the database is configured and everything. So it's active, absolutely. Just connected it. It's current date time. Don't need this one. Don't need this one for now. Facebook profile image. I think we'll, yep, picture image. This one does actually duplicate and current user. The access token is the step 2 access token. The user ID is the step 1, not 3, body ID. This is exactly how we configure ours. And this is the database structure for this specific one. We don't need this one, actually. But this is the structure that we did. So the date and time we connected it. And if the user decide to disconnect, we can, rather than deleting that row of data, we can just add a disconnected time. If for whatever reason we need to do that and change this to no, it's not if in that case. On the access token, so it tells you exactly when it expires, so you can set up schedule workflows to regenerate access tokens, which we have created. Which we have created a refresh. What is called refresh access token workflow endpoint. That's how we created for the backend. Now we're going to delete it because we already have this one up and running, and you will be able to see this one. And yeah, another thing that we did is we created a list of Facebook integrations, or we added one Facebook integration. We're actually releasing a template here soon for a social media manager, and that will be a list of social media integrations, just a little bit different. So we're going to delete this one. I want to leave you this one here so you can visualize it later. And we're going to go to the create Facebook pages so you can link the Facebook pages to your application. So I would say that that's the most difficult part that you have to set up. But here in the front end, what you want to do is we have created this button that is what is going to get it connected. So, no, I'm sorry, I picked it. So we're going to edit this workflow so you can see. So now that we have created new authorization, it's going to load back up. And once it loads back up and page is loaded, it's going to get the code from the page URL, and it's going to schedule this workflow, which is the one that we just created. I'm going to redo this so you can see. So you're going to create a new workflow, and when the page is loaded and get data from the page URL, as you can tell, the parameter is code, as you can tell here, right here, code. So when that is not empty, and we're going to leave as it is because I want to make it as simple as possible. The other thing that had was like, if there was already an integration, then don't create a new one, but we're going to leave it as simple as possible. And we want this while we're stripping again. Okay. We're going to schedule an API workflow, and that API workflow will be the Facebook Connect, which, as we call it, code will be take data from the URL. The parameter name is code, as we already established. That's the code that is going to get brought up to the, and really need to add it since we're in the back end, but since it's asking for it here, and you can skip this part if you want. We can just add done as soon as possible, and that's all you need to do. And that will allow you to create that integration to exchange that code for the access token, exchange the access token that is short term for a long-term one, and get the user ID, the profile picture, and everything else that you will want in order to be able to create. There are 24 endpoints that we have created in this plugin. As I mentioned before, there's a whole lot that would make this video way too long. If you have any specific questions, leave them down in the comments below. I will record videos for specific questions, but I don't think it's productive for you to watch an hour and a half, 2 hours long video on every single endpoint that we created. But if you have questions, I'm more than willing to create videos for you to get the answers to those questions. That way you can get the most out of this plugin. But I just wanted to go over a few things to make sure that you were aware of exactly what is included in this plugin. First one is that you can publish posts using this endpoint, and you can send images, you can send videos and tests, which I believe are really good because that's what you want on the plugin. You can update posts, but only posts that have been created using the API. Third thing is that you can verify posts, but again, only posts that have been created using the API. You can get page reviews using this API. Same thing with getting comments and updating comments, only those that were created. With that being said, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just delivering the news of what I learned while I was getting knowledgeable on the Facebook API. We will be adding more endpoints in the near future. This is just the start. We're planning to release 50 plugins by the end of the year. We had to start somewhere. Most robust collection of plugins out there. There are many bubble plugins connecting Facebook, but they only have 1 or 2 endpoints. We are the most comprehensive one. And we have created the most comprehensive one because to provide you more value than what you're paying for. So if this is something that you need, if this is something that you want, as I mentioned before, I ask you that you please subscribe to the channel, turn on the alert notifications. We will let you know when the plugin is live, and you can go and get it. There will be 2 different ways that you can get it. You can get a monthly membership, which in my opinion is great if you want to test it out. Make sure that it meets your criteria and it helps you do what you need it to do. The second one is paying for it outright, $50. And perhaps you should do that once you know that the plugin actually works for you. Other than that, thank you for watching. Please like this video and help us reach more people. The more likes, the more people we can reach. And consider subscribing. We're releasing amazing videos every single month, sometimes 2 or 3 times a month. But we're trying to make sure that we're creating a nice collection of video tutorials to help you up your power skills. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one.